Yo, what it do? It's the boy Rich. We're back with another 6v6 Pokemon battle for the channel against the homie Chris off Discord. He was looking for an OU battle, and I have been having so much fun with this OU team. I typically like to get like 4 battles like max with like a specific team. Then I like to disband the team, put a whole different team together, and test out with that one. But I have been using this specific team for like the past 2-3 weeks just because I've been loving it so much. I've been using Pokemon that I don't typically use. Like I don't typically play this tier, but even when I do, like I don't typically use Victinis. I don't use Mews. I personally don't use Zygardes, but I threw him on the team just because I wanted like a backup just in case things go south type Pokemon. Like I know Zygarde could like really pick a battle back up for me, but I've been loving Zero Aura as well. And the main thing that I wanted to throw on this team was the Gastrodon. He recently moved from the PU tier to the OU tier, so I threw him on the team because I wanted to see exactly what he was doing here. Now looking at my opponent's team, the first thing that you can honestly just see from the team preview is that he has a Tapu Koko, he has a Hawlucha. That is such a deadly combo. Electric Seed on the Hawlucha. I would be so surprised if I ever saw a Hawlucha that was not on the same team as a Tapu Koko. But those two Pokemon are together. Definitely had to watch out for that. On top of that, he has a Mimikyu. He has a freaking Klefki, which I was figuring would come out, try to get some screens up or something. Then he has a Garchomp, which this sounds pretty crazy to say, but it was kind of refreshing seeing a Garchomp. I say it's really refreshing because I have not been seeing these Pokemon that much, and I know it's mainly because the Tapus and everybody running Landorus left and right, and Pokemon having ice moves left and right, hidden power ice on all their Pokemon, so of course you're not going to see too many Garchomps. It's just not really safe out here for them. But back in anybody who played like X and Y, like just goodness gracious, like you saw these things on every single team. I remember it would be so annoying to see that Pokemon, but he's here, and yeah, about to go ahead and battle one of these. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into the battle. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and start out with my Victini, because my Victini's Choice Scarf, if I don't get a right matchup, I can just go ahead and U-turn on out of here. I thought my opponent would start out with the Tapu Koko because those are typically Pokemon that you see start on, teams when you see them. But my opponent actually starts out with the Mimikyu, and I was like, this is not a good matchup for me. And I was hoping my opponent would just start out by going for like the Sword Dance because that's typically what the Mimikyus do. But he actually went for Protect. And I decided I tried to go for the trick to try to trick a Choice Scarf onto him so I could at least lock him into one move, because that would make him, that much less of a issue for me. But after he Protect, I figured, what, my opponent's going to see that coming. Now I got to go ahead and swap on out of here. So I decided to go ahead and swap into my Gastrodon. And my opponent went for the Shadow Sneak, and now he actually went for the Curse, which really threw me off, because I was like, there is 100 ways to run a Mimikyu, and Curse is just not one of them. I don't like to bash my opponent's sets because I know, everybody tries to be different sometimes, and different sets can definitely work. I mean, definitely, like if you've seen like Weedle's vids, he definitely shows that kind of stuff off, but I do not think Curse is a move that should be ran on a Mimikyu. That ain't it, bro. But I did get a Scald off, and I did burn this Mimikyu, so that just makes me feel a lot better about this Mimikyu, because now I don't feel like he's, gonna be doing too much for me. Even if he does decide to go ahead and get a Sword Dance up, it's only gonna bring his attack up to like maybe neutral, maybe a little bit less than that, but I'm not worried too much about him. As my opponent, I guess, figured since this Pokemon was burned, he didn't really care about it that much either, so he just went ahead and went for the double Curse, figuring that I'd just go ahead and decide to swap out right here. But I swapped out into my Victini, and I really wasn't worried too much. He goes into his Gold Key on my Victini, and I was like, yo, my opponent right here is just playing really weird, because this is definitely a Steel type, and my Victini is like a whole ass Fire type. So I really was kind of confused, as my opponent just decides to go ahead and go for the Thunder Wave right here. And luckily for his Victini, he gets some, He gets some of that yellow magic going, and I get fully paired right here, but I am still a whole fire type, and since I am paired, I am not swapping out of here. I'm just clicking V create. My opponent does not get any screens up, so I was really kind of confused by that. Instead, he chooses to get a row of spikes out, which I guess he wants to, you know, get some chip damage on my Pokemon, and if I'm going to be, you know, swapping out left and right. I'm really not too worried about that. My Mew is a defensive Mew that I can just come out here and defog that if I, you know, if need be. I don't even feel like that row of spikes is going to be doing too much to me this battle anyway. But I'm going to take some curse damage. I'm out here Thunder Wave. My Victini really just can't do too much more for this battle. So yeah, anyway, my opponent goes into this Garchomp. It was pretty much expected. I'm locked into V create, and I just did not feel like there was a Pokemon that needed to. I didn't feel like I needed to keep my Victini any longer at this point. He really couldn't do anything except be, you know, death fodder for my opponent's future Pokemon. But I am just gonna go ahead and go into the Mew right here, as my opponent's gonna go to the Sword Dance. I was hoping that he would not go for the Sword Dance and instead just go for like an Earthquake or like a Dragon Claw, whatever he wanted to do, because I know neither one of those attacks really would have hurt me too much because I am a defensive Mew, and I just decided to go for the defog this first turn. And I was like, if he didn't go for like the Sword Dance, I could just like roost up, and this Garchomp just could not do anything to my Mew. But he is just going to go ahead and hit me with an Outrage. I stayed in because I was like, I know even with that Sword Dance, I should be able to take at least one of any move that he wanted to do and launch back an Ice Beam. I was really hoping the Ice Beam would be able to kill, but that's just not the case. But I'm not worried too much because it kind of helps me a little bit later in this battle, because now my Mew is definitely not going to be able to take that second Outrage, but he did do his job. Luckily, this Garchomp did not get confused right here, and he's still locked into the Outrage, and I am going to be faster than him, and I am just going to go ahead and use the U-turn right here. Take some rough skin damage, but since he was locked in here, not able to, you know, withdraw his Garchomp and, you know, get a better matchup for my Greninja, I was able to go ahead and get that KO right there, making my Greninja just go full on Super Saiyan right here. My boy just Mega Evolved into that Ash Greninja. I am Choice Specs, by the way, which is also another reason why I did not want to stay in here. I did have the Water Shrieking and stuff, which I thought about using, but I didn't want to be locked in here. I felt like Zero Aura could have, you know, I felt like Zero Aura was kind of just a good neutral Pokemon for me to throw out. I was like, there's nothing that he really has that really just wants to go toe-to-toe with this Pokemon, but he chooses in his Tapu Koko on this, and I was like, you can't have a move that could kill me in like one hit or anything. And I know with the electric terrain up, even though this is not very effective, this Plasma Fist should have at least been a 2-hit KO, and as you can see from that damage, it does about 75% of his health, so I was really happy with that. But this Tapu Koko is faster than me. He did crit me with that Dazzling Gleam to the point where I don't want him to die, so I am just going to go ahead and swap into my specially defensive Gastrodon, who can take Dazzling Gleams from this Pokemon all day, and I'm going to get some leftovers recovery, and I am running kind of a little bit of a weird different set myself with this Gastrodon. I'm actually going to go for a stockpile so I can get my defenses raised, as my opponent is just going to go ahead and stay in here and continuously try to hit me up with some Dazzling Gleams. But I know after getting this stockpile, another Dazzling Gleam is not going to be able to go ahead and, you know, KO my Gastrodon, and I will be able to go ahead and recover up. Now, the whole reason I was running stockpile on my Gastrodon is almost for this specific situation where my opponent, if he wanted to go ahead and try to get like that Hawlucha in, I was like, if I can get enough stockpiles up, I can get like a Scald, possibly get a burn on the Hawlucha, and there's just nothing Tapu Kokos can really do to me unless they are running like the Grass Knot. But I was really kind of chancing it right here. I knew he was locked into Dazzling Gleam pretty much. So anyway, my opponent knows that his Tapu Koko is just not going to be able to stay in here with my Gastrodon, and I was like, all right, now it's crunch time. The Hawlucha is in here, the Electric Seed is popped, and it's just go time. This Pokemon is either going to sweep me or I'm going to burn him, and I'm going to be able to get rid of him. So the electric terrain is gone, and my Gastrodon is at +2 defense right here, and I know that even if my opponent wanted to go for like the high jump kick or acrobatics, he would not be able to kill me. unless he, you know, was able to get like a crit with the high jump kick. But I mean, that was a chance I was willing to take. I went ahead and went for the Scald right here. I had my hands closed together. I was praying so much that I would have been able to get a burn right there, but that wasn't the case, as my opponent is just going to go ahead and fire an acrobatics off right here, and it is going to go ahead and crit me and kill my Gastrodon. So call me crazy, but I think even with my +2 defense, even with his +2, you know, sword dance on his attack, I felt like I would have been able to survive that. But I guess we'll never know. Maybe I'm crazy for it, but it wasn't too much of an issue because I do have my Battle Bond Ash Greninja in here, who is choice specs, and I do have the guaranteed 3-hitting water shrieking on me, so I was able to go ahead and do that. And if my opponent wanted to swap out, that would have been perfect for me too, because then his speed would not have been as fast because the Burden does not stay. And now anyway, his Greninja came in here, and he's just gonna go ahead and U-turn out of here, get that clean super effective damage off on my Ash Greninja, but it's just not gonna be enough to, you know, knock me out. And his last 2 Pokemon, I believe, are that Greninja and the Tapu Koko. But since I have the Water Shuriken on my Greninja, I should be able to go ahead and close out this battle, I believe. So this Tapu Koko's in here, even though he's fast as balls with the Choice Scarf on him, it's just, he's not going to be able to outspeed any type of priority that I have. I don't even think Tapu Kokos get any type of priority, so he is just going to go ahead and drop right here. My opponent's last Pokemon is the Greninja, and I still have a whole Zero Aura in the back and a Zygarde in the back. So my opponent is not going to be able to, you know, he's not going to be able to finish this battle up unless he got really, really lucky right here and was able to get like all 5 hits of his own Water Shrieking that he went for. But unlike my Greninja, his Greninja is not guaranteed 3 hits. And it's just not going to be enough to finish my guy out. So my opponent did actually just decide to forfeit right here, because I mean, I was just going to go ahead and go for another Water Shuriken and finish that battle out anyway with a clean 3-0 victory. But I wanted to go ahead and get this one uploaded. Felt like it was a good battle. It's probably going to be the last upload that I do get with this team. So yeah, thank you guys if you're still watching at this point. I really do appreciate the views. I definitely appreciate the likes, the comments, all that. If you guys are looking forward to more, go ahead and sub to your boy. You already know I'm gonna have more content coming. I'm dropping these battles left and right. Like, this is, I think, the second battle that I uploaded today, and I might even upload one a little bit later. But I mean, I still have like 90 battles to upload, so I want to go ahead and get those out. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys in the next video later. Peace out.